Cornell College. A normal school? In a normal town? Or is it?
I don't know, man, that place freaks me out.
It is a sign that we are being watched and spoken to by something greater than us.
It's all a hoax. I don't know why people believe in it.
Honestly, I'm surprised more people aren't afraid of the shoe tree.
The shoe tree.
The shoe tree. At first glance, it may just appear as your average everyday tree, albeit with some interesting additions in the decorative process. Matters become more interesting, however, when we begin to question where exactly these shoes came from and what the stories of their original owners are.
I've never known someone whose shoes have actually ended up there, but I'm sure there have been plenty of drunks that have gotten entangled in it. Although what inebriated person can actually throw that well? And it doesn't really explain the feeling.
And what feeling is that?
It's kind of hard to explain. It's not exactly a dark feeling, but it's certainly not good either. It's as though something were watching me. You know that feeling that you're not alone? Like there's something or someone there, they just don't want you to be aware of the fact? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if anyone really knows what's going on in that tree, but whatever it is, it certainly stinks of foul socks.
You mean foul play?
That too.
Aliens.
We had a chance to catch up with Kyle Decker, resident extraterrestrial enthusiast and source of one of the more interesting theories behind the tree.
Now take a look at this, all right?
What is it?
Well, at first glance, it looks like a normal shoe, you know. But take a closer look. These are kind of cylindrical markings. Now, the kind you see in crop circles or something like that. Now, I think that something is trying to communicate with us. And, you know, I have whole closets filled with this kind of evidence, each shoe bearing its own unique marking. I mean, it simply cannot be a coincidence.
Mr. Decker's theory went beyond simple shoe scrounging, however.
Now, we live in a very large universe, so denying the existence of some sort of extraterrestrial intelligence would just be foolish. Now, if this intelligence were to, say, find us, I have little doubt that it would be benevolent and very subtly so. I mean, after all, we have this stereotype that aliens are warlike, chocolate-stealing monsters. So, of course, they would try to, ease their way into the conversation with us so as to not accidentally cause bloodshed.
Not everyone was so certain that there is anything behind these myths and theories, though.
Simple psychology dictates that the story behind the shoe tree are nothing more but simple delusions from people who get too excited. We are more apt to, reach a conclusion and then look for the evidence supporting it than the other way around, because after all, we are reasoning creatures. So, especially if the evidence that supports something is not really plausible or comfortable to you, you are more likely to look for something that is more comfortable, even though it's not the most plausible explanation. So, for instance, let's say that you get completely wasted and you throw your shoes into a tree where you can no longer recover them. So instead of the next morning linking you being inebriated to the fact that your shoes aren't there, what you're going to do is that you're going to recall lights or sounds that weren't there to make your recall more plausible or more comfortable to you.
So you're saying that the shoes just got there by chance?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Mary Iber, consulting librarian for the sciences, however, believes that the explanation for the shoe tree can be found in the Amazonian rainforests.
There are 2 species found in the Amazon that scientists have hypothesized to have co-evolved with each other, but they've never actually found an isolated system where the 2 species have been working in tandem, in part because both species are so elusive. The first of these 2 species is called the Remus habitantis, or the tree tine. It's an extremely docile species that lives in the upper canopy of the forest. It's very skittish, and as a result, almost impossible to spot. Now, tree tines are very unique in their diet. Scientists first discovered them when they noticed that their shoelaces had gone missing. Eventually, they discovered that the shoelaces had been dragged up into the canopy above by these who are able to digest both the leather and the hemp materials found in shoelaces, along with the jute, which they sometimes use as a natural medicine.
The other half of the story, however, is not nearly as harmless.
There is another creature that lives near these canopies, the Anguis scolopendra. It has no common name. Almost nothing is known about this creature except that it hunts at night. It hunts alone, and it is swift and merciless in its approach. Many scientists have tried to get close to this creature, but it only seems to appear when one is completely alone. We do know, however, how it attacks. As I said, it will only attack victims who are completely alone. Now, during these attacks, we have been able to pick up faint sounds, something akin to the slither of a snake, or maybe the multi-step scattering of a particularly large centipede, but combined. Then there's a temporary lull, a complete and utter silence. Finally, all we hear is a swift movement of the wind, a dull thud on the ground, and the next day, all that remains is a solitary pair of shoes.
Like the Naglaria Fullerland, the Goatman, the Angius Scolopendra strikes fear into the hearts of even those who have spent their whole lives studying it.
I've gone out in search of these creatures before, but only in the daytime and never alone. I wouldn't dream of hunting them out at night. That would be horrible.
This theory, while convincing, still leaves a giant question in its wake. Where did the missing students go, and why hasn't anyone gone looking for them? Our research tried to get a look at the official student files for information, but we were denied access without explanation. However, we did receive some evidence from an anonymous benefactor. It was nothing more than a worn image with a student's name, Thomas Kelby, scribbled beneath alongside the date 12/24/1876. We were having little success getting anything out of the ordinary, indeed, anything at all about Mr. Kelby, until we ran across a very particular lead. What can you tell me about this man?
I can't say for sure that I know the person in this image, but he does look very familiar to me. It's very hard to describe. It's like that feeling when you're dreaming and you're certain you've dreamt the dream before, or that feeling when you wake up and you can't distinguish what's really happened and what didn't. It's very surreal.
Jiang Hong was shown multiple images of both similar-looking and very different men and women, but responded uniquely to Mr. Kelby.
I know this man. I don't know how, but I do.
A missing man, conveniently disappearing into time and place, where there would be very little record of him, and who is only remembered by a student of the class of 2015. We here at Unsolved Mysteries won't say that the shoe tree implemented some sort of time travel, but we aren't discounting the theory either. What is the shoe tree? Home to cousins of dangerous Amazonian species? Or maybe a time-traveling deity that's been set down here by extraterrestrials? Or just perhaps it's just a bunch of drunken assholes. Whatever it is, well, all we seem to know for sure is that the stories behind the shoe tree are entirely unknown. I'm Max Bertzos, and this has been Unsolved Mysteries.